To support this channel, we ask everyone to like and subscribe. Return of the Anunnaki. Climate change. Shanghai, on the eve of the new year, held its breath. The city, normally alive with laughter and celebration, felt subdued. Though streets were still bustling with last-minute shoppers and vendors, a sense of unease permeated the atmosphere. Vendors called out half-heartedly, their voices tinged with anxiety, while children clung tightly to their parents, their innocent eyes reflecting the tension that hung heavy in the air. Above the lively facade, ominous clouds churned, their unnatural hues of green and gray swirling like an unholy brew. On the street corners, televisions displayed news reports of global catastrophes, footage of cities collapsing into chasms, volcanic eruptions devouring landscapes, and tsunamis swallowing coastal towns played on an endless loop. Yet, the citizens clung to the illusion of normalcy, desperate for the reassurance that the New Year's celebrations might offer a reprieve from the growing chaos. Above the bustling streets, the Guardian stood on a window of the World Financial Center. His silhouette, outlined against the pulsating red glow of the council chamber above, seemed otherworldly. His gaze stretched over the sprawling cityscape, lit with dazzling displays of light and neon brilliance. From this height, Shanghai appeared tranquil, but he could feel the pulse of the Earth's changes, a sensation both exhilarating and foreboding. Beneath the city's surface, tremors rippled, faint but insistent, like a heartbeat accelerating toward an inevitable climax. Inside the tower, the countdown continued, ticking away the moments until the next phase of the Anunnaki's plan would commence. But outside, life moved forward as though nothing had changed. Fireworks vendors prepared their wares, families gathered in anticipation, and skyscrapers illuminated messages of hope for the coming year. The juxtaposition was striking and deeply unsettling, a fragile facade of joy masking the storm building just beyond the horizon. Across the globe, similar scenes played out. Cities adorned with festive lights were juxtaposed against reports of chaos and destruction. Humanity clung to rituals of celebration, as though the traditions could shield them from the planet's growing fury. But in each place, there were signs, subtle at first, then glaring, that something was terribly wrong. Birds flocked in erratic patterns, their cries unusually shrill. Dogs barked incessantly, their howls carrying an almost human note of despair. Rivers ran higher and darker, their currents strangely violent. Back in Shanghai, the Guardian turned his attention to the distant horizon, where the clouds gathered thicker. Lightning arced silently across the sky, illuminating the city in flashes of stark white. He felt the weight of the moment pressing against him, a burden that seemed to grow heavier with every passing second. His role demanded that he remain calm and resolute, but tonight, even his stoic composure faltered. Far below, a vendor's cart overturned, spilling fireworks onto the pavement. The sharp crackle of sparks startled the nearby crowd, sending ripples of panic through the gathered masses. People glanced nervously at the sky, their unease mounting. A child clutched his mother's hand tightly, pointing upward as a strange hum filled the air. The sound was low, almost imperceptible, but it resonated deep in the chest, a primal warning that defied explanation. Inside the World Financial Center, the countdown clock glowed brighter, its digits reflecting ominously against the walls of the council chamber. The hum that pervaded the city seemed to synchronize with the ticking clock, growing louder with each passing moment. In the streets below, the unease reached a fever pitch. Police officers directed traffic with tense urgency, their eyes scanning the crowds for any sign of unrest. In the distance, the Huangpu River churned violently, its surface disrupted by unseen forces. The Guardian, still on the window, closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. He could feel the threads of destiny weaving themselves into an intricate, unbreakable pattern. The Anunnaki's return was not merely an event. It was a reckoning. Humanity's choices, its hubris, its defiance of the natural order, all of it had led to this moment. Yet in the depths of his heart, the Guardian harbored a sliver of hope. He had seen the resilience of mankind, its capacity for unity in the face of annihilation. Perhaps, just perhaps, there was a path forward that did not end in ruin. A sudden flash of light drew his attention back to the city. Fireworks exploded prematurely, their vibrant colors painting the ominous clouds in shades of red, blue, and gold. But the display did little to lift the spirits of the onlookers. Instead, the juxtaposition of beauty and dread seemed to deepen their anxiety. The hum grew louder still, and the first tremors shook the city. Glasses rattled on restaurant tables, and windows shivered in their frames. "The hour approaches," the guardian murmured to himself. His voice, though soft, carried the weight of inevitability. He turned and disappeared into the shadows of the tower, his presence a specter of authority and foreboding. Inside the chamber, the council reconvened, their faces set with grim determination. The guardian took his place at the center of the room, his gaze fixed on the holographic earth. The countdown ticked down to its final moments, each second echoing like a drumbeat of fate. Outside, Shanghai teetered on the edge, its people unaware that the world as they knew it was about to change forever. As the months passed, humanity began to adapt to the new reality. The Anunnaki's technology advanced civilization in ways previously unimaginable. Energy sources became inexhaustible, medical advancements eradicated diseases, and environmental restoration projects reversed decades of damage. Societies split into factions. Some embraced the Anunnaki as saviors, their arrival heralded as divine intervention. Temples and shrines sprang up across the globe, devoted to worshiping the alien benefactors. Leaders of these factions preached gratitude and submission, claiming that humanity's survival depended on unwavering loyalty to their new overlords. These adherents saw the Anunnaki's presence as proof of humanity's unworthiness to govern itself, and they willingly relinquished their autonomy. In stark contrast, others viewed the Anunnaki's presence as a veiled conquest. To them, the technological advancements and ecological restorations were chains in disguise. Resistance movements grew in the shadows, their ranks swelling with disillusioned citizens, former soldiers and scientists who questioned the true motives of their extraterrestrial rulers. Whispers of rebellion echoed through underground networks, their plans shrouded in secrecy and desperation. Amidst this polarized landscape emerged Zora, a charismatic leader who united various resistance groups under a single banner, a woman of striking presence and unshakable resolve. Zora's speeches ignited a spark in even the most downtrodden hearts. Her message was simple yet powerful. Humanity must reclaim its autonomy, even if it means defying gods. Her words resonated with millions, her fiery rhetoric, a clarion call for freedom. Zora's strategies confounded even the most advanced Anunnaki surveillance systems. Utilizing human ingenuity and guerrilla tactics, her forces struck at key installations, sabotaging projects they believed to be mechanisms of control. The Resistance's victories were often fleeting, but their impact was undeniable. They exposed cracks in the veneer of the Anunnaki's omnipotence and gave humanity a glimmer of hope. The Guardian, aware of Zora's growing influence, observed her movements closely. Unlike the Council, he did not view her as a threat, but as a catalyst, a necessary force to challenge the status quo and ignite humanity's latent potential. In her defiance, he recognized echoes of the very qualities the Anunnaki had once admired in humans: resilience, ingenuity, and an unyielding spirit. Yet he knew that her path was fraught with peril, and the price of rebellion could be devastating. In the shadows of this upheaval, the Guardian found himself at a crossroads. His loyalty to the Council and his empathy for humanity clashed, forcing him to confront the contradictions of his role. He had been the arbiter of balance, the voice of reason in a chaotic universe. But now he faced a choice that would shape the course of history: to uphold the Council's agenda or to support humanity's fight for autonomy. One night, Zora received an unexpected visitor. The Guardian appeared in her camp, his presence commanding yet not threatening. Clad in his flowing black suit, his white hair and beard glinting in the firelight. He addressed her with a voice that silenced the gathering. "Zara," he began, his tone measured and deliberate. "You fight for humanity's freedom, but do you understand the cost of what you seek? The Anunnaki's presence is not merely conquest, it is preservation. Without their intervention, humanity would have perished. Yet I see the chains you seek to break and the fire in your heart. Tell me, what future do you envision?" Zara met his gaze, her expression resolute. "A future where humanity determines its own destiny. We may falter, we may fall, but it must be our choice." The guardian nodded slowly, his eyes reflecting a mixture of admiration and sorrow. "Your conviction is formidable, but your path is perilous. Be certain that your actions serve the greater good, not just the fleeting desire for revenge." Their conversation, though brief, carried profound implications. The guardian's words lingered in Zara's mind as she planned her next move. And for the guardian, the encounter deepened his inner conflict. He could no longer remain a silent observer. The time to act was approaching, and the fate of both humanity and the Anunnaki hung in the balance. As the world teetered on the brink of transformation, the lines between savior and oppressor, hero and villain, blurred. The guardian prepared to tip the scales, knowing that his choice would reverberate across the cosmos. In the shadows of a world awakening to its new reality, the stage was set for a reckoning that would determine the future of Earth and beyond. The weather was unusually unpredictable. The sky, a constantly shifting palette of colors, seemed to mirror the unease felt by the city's inhabitants. Animals were restless, and people moved with a nervous energy, sensing that something extraordinary was about to happen. In Shanghai, the skyline's usual brilliance was overshadowed by an otherworldly aurora that shimmered with hues of green and violet. News outlets speculated wildly, attributing the phenomenon to solar storms or atmospheric anomalies. But those closest to the truth, the Council and the Guardian, knew better. These celestial displays were not random. They were a prelude. Across the globe, similar phenomena unfolded. In the Americas, storms brewed with unnerving precision, forming geometric patterns visible from satellites. In Europe, the northern lights danced farther south than ever recorded, casting eerie glows over cities unaccustomed to their beauty. In Africa and Asia, animals migrated in masses, their instincts guiding them to places of safety, even as humans remained oblivious. The Guardian watched from his vantage point in Shanghai, his expression unreadable. The skies told a story he alone could fully interpret. He sensed the planet's pulse quickening, its very fabric responding to the impending convergence of forces. Despite the chaos, he also sensed a faint but undeniable thread of hope woven into the cosmic tapestry.